So this video is a reflection from last year, December 2020, when I turned 25 years old, to this year, December 2021. I'm turning 26 on Monday. And it's a reflection of what happens when you believe God and you walk out in faith. I really got to see that God is who he says he is. So this video is to reflect and glorify God, in a sense, on everything that I was able to accomplish this year just by walking out in faith. So I want to give you guys a little bit of backstory. I want to start in September of 2020. And to be honest, I'm not the same person that I am in this chair who I was back then. I was cold. I was very bitter with God. I was very upset with God. And the reason was because certain circumstances happened in my life. I just thought that God wasn't for me. I thought that God didn't hear me. I thought he didn't care. I'm talking about like heavy things that, like, you know, people, you would lose your faith type of things. I was really hurt. And I just wanted to hear that God loved me and that he cared for me, and that he was with me. And I could see, like, I was being blessed just with life in general, just like the simple things with life, with health, with my parents. And I just took it for granted, and I didn't see the goodness of God. In September of last year, I was going to the park on my bike. A friend of mine from the Dominican Republic, he's a pastor, and he sees me on the bike, and he's in the car with somebody else. They honk the horn, and I look over, and we make eye contact. And I just wave, and I'm like, oh, I gotta hang out with him. And a week later, we finally meet up. It was completely different from the other previous times that he's come. When he's come, he's always going to churches and preaching, and he's always about other people. But this time, it was like he was literally for me, my brother, and my cousin. But I feel like it was just me, because he ministered to me like he never, like he gave me all the attention, and I'm grateful for it. But when we met, we went out to a restaurant, I believe, or something like that. And he goes, when I saw you on the bike that day, you look spiritually dead. You were a dead man walking. He was like sick, like in Spanish, you were dry. And I was like, yeah, bro. Like, you know, I laughed about it. I was like, yeah. But like, I didn't want him to address the certain things that were in me. I didn't want him to call out my demons per se. It was kind of like a feeling out process for him per se. He was filling us out, seeing where we were, catching up, blah, blah, blah. But then my brother, he's a barber, and my brother's cutting his hair. This is like 2 days later. And it's me, my brother, and my cousin. We're having a conversation, me and my cousin, and he's just in the chair, just chilling, quiet, nothing to say, just getting his hair cut, like in a different world. And as soon as my brother dropped the clippers and was done with him, he started ministering to me. And he told me things, mind you, he's a prophet. He told me things that I only said to God, between me and God in my heart, that I've never said to anybody. I am crying. And he basically told me that God was always with me there. And he protected me. He spared my life. And that everything that happened was a trial of my faith. And he called me a coward because I didn't stand up in faith. And I reacted the wrong way. And that broke me. But it needed to be said, and it needed to be addressed to me, because that's what made me like realize, like, wow, this man is not making this up. Nobody told him this. Like, this is God speaking. And it was a privilege, you know, because God really revealed himself to me and showed me that he cared for me and that he loved me and that he was always there with me. And I was restored that day. I really was. Like, my heart was completely changed. As I'm going through this process of being, you know, healing and, you know, reading the Bible and praying like nonstop and talking to God. But in November, God speaks to me. He says, talk about the first 25 years of your life and record it. And basically tell the world everything that I've done for you. And I'm like, okay. So I did it. And the amount, like, I just did it just to do it, to be like obedient to God. And, you know, like my YouTube stuff, like I'll post stuff, but I never get any like views or like interaction. And when I posted that video, I had people from like 10-15 years ago hitting me up like, yo, your video, like, I didn't know you were going through this. It helped me go through, like, it helped me heal. Thank you for sharing your story. Like, I have cousins that were hitting me up and like, yo, I didn't know you were going through this, bro. Like, that's crazy. And then like they opened up about stuff that was like deeply rooted and dumb as well. So like, with that video, it ministered to so many people that I was like, wow, God is behind this. God is doing something. And it was my most watched video. Like, I think it was like 1,200 views or 1,300 views on Instagram. On YouTube, it was like 500, whatever it was. Because my videos only get like 100 views. And it's always, like, that's when I was doing some dumb stuff. So I'm like, I think I'm on to something, right? So I call my friend. This is where my best friend comes in. Her name is Glass. I'm like, Glass, yo, I want to record your testimony. And I want your testimony to be real. Like, don't, like, take off the facade of, like, you know, your youth group leader, blah, blah, blah. Get real with the story. Get down to the nitty gritty, because I believe that's where God is glorified. And she was like, all right, like, okay. You know what I mean? She was kind of reluctant to do it. I'm recording the testimony, and I'm like, I set up my lights, my cameras, 3, 2, 1, action. And she stuck. She was there for like 45 minutes, just trying to get everything out. And it just wasn't real. It wasn't flowing. It wasn't genuine. Marcus, my brother, was like talking to her. And then from there, everything became genuine and real. And then the feedback on her testimony was just amazing as well. But like from that day, me and her really clicked. I'm like, yo, this is a person I want to have around. This is like a loyal person. This is a good friend. If you look at my phone, her name is Glass, and then in parentheses, The Connect. And the reason I call her The Connect, because she's connecting me to so many people. She connected me to about like 6 or 7 people, and the rest were people I knew. So this girl was just a tremendous blessing for me. Anybody I needed, anything I needed, she would just show up, come through, and be perfect. The testimony series, I started in December, and I went all the way to May. And through that time, it's just testimony after testimony after testimony. And in December, I actually quit my job because I was like, I just want to do this. Like, God has spoken to me. God is behind this, and I want to do this. Now, mind you, this is not for everybody. You know, this is how he's spoken. This is how he spoke to me. This is how it ministered to me. So I was like, I want to do this. I want to be completely sold out for this, for God. And I want to walk out in faith and just trust him. In May, God tells me we need a transition. I want you to stop recording testimonies. So my brother gets contacted by a guy in North Carolina who runs this league. He saw his video on Instagram. And he was like, hey, we want you to come down and try out. So I'm like, all right, this is what God wants me to do. We're going to record Unfinished Business Part 2. But I'm training my brother. The money that I'll get was from people like who wanted photo shoots, you know, videos for their businesses, blah, blah, blah. But it's not consistent. I was literally just working with my brother and recording testimony series, right? So finally June comes and we got to go. Like, I was nervous because I didn't think I was going to have the funds to even go. Like, this is going to be Unfinished Business Part 2, but I was like, damn, I don't have the money right now. God provided, like, out of nowhere. And I'm like, wow, all right, he's really for me. He's really behind me. And, like, we're gonna do this. So me and my brother, we drive 12 hours. We go down to North Carolina. I see it's kind of unorganized. I'm running practices. The coach is not really even a coach. Like, how am I gonna run a practice, shoot a documentary, highlight my brother, and try to find a story that's appealing and captivating to an audience? God, like, I need you to show me something. I need you to show me the story. The next day, I go out there. He shows me the story. It's literally right in front of me. So I entered into film festivals, good feedback. One in Argentina. I entered into a film festival for Orlando, and that's going to get judged in January, February time. So I'm looking forward to that. So the Unfinished Business was amazing. Like, just to see God provide, just to see God open doors, just to see God connect us to such amazing people that we met out there. It was a beautiful experience that I would never regret. So to go back a little bit, to backtrack and speak about Glass a little bit more. So I called Glass to connect because she connected me to so many people. In February, she connected me to my girlfriend. And before that, we were talking on the phone and she's like, yo, CJ, like, why are you single? Like, why don't you have a girlfriend? I'm like, yo, Glass, chill. Like, I just got restored. I'm trying to live holy and upright for the Lord. I'm trying to be obedient. She's like, no, for real. Like, you can have a girlfriend. I'm like, no, it's not for me right now. She's like, okay. I'm thinking she's understanding me, but no, she's recommending me all these girls. Like, hey, look, what about this one? What about this one? Finally, she's like, all right, he's not really for that right now. I don't get this kid. He's weird. In February, she's like, hey, listen, I have this cousin. I'm like, Glass, I'm good. She's like, no, for real. She's perfect for you. I'm like, all right, whatever, send a picture. And then she sent me a picture of her cousin, and I'm like, nah, this ain't it. She looks too high maintenance. She looks this, she looks that. I was mad picky. She's like, no, trust me. She loves God. She loves the word. She's very wise. She's this, she's that. I'm like, okay, I'll pray on it. I'll see. You know, I'm excited because she is a pretty girl, but I'm like, I don't want to ruin this relationship with you, God. You know, I'm just restored, and I don't want to be walking in two waters. You know, it's a tough walk. Eventually, it's like a month, and she's like, yo, I'm tired of this. Y'all two keep asking about each other. You keep talking about, I'm tired of this. I'm gonna send you her number. I was like, all right, cool. And it was April 6th, the first day that we spoke. So me and Alyssa, we hit it off. We talked and talked and talked. And our relationship is so beautiful. You know, we're everything that we ever prayed for each other, you know. I'm everything she ever asked for, she's everything I ever asked for. And it's amazing, guys. Beautiful timing and precision and detail. He's literally the greatest storyteller. And our relationship is just, like, I'm not trying to gas it and be like, you know, but like it literally is what it is, you know what I mean? Like, God has blessed us in such a beautiful way, and we don't take it for granted. If I were to give you guys like a word of advice or a message to take from this, is that trust in God in everything. Give your whole life to God. Do not reserve anything, and He will show up over and over again. His timing is perfect. Who He is who He says He is. Get to know the character of God. Get to know who He is in His word. Get to know the will that He has for your life. My life is living proof, and I'm going to continue to glorify Him in everything that I do. And that 26 be just as fruitful. I'm going to challenge myself. It's not just about the blessings. Like, all that stuff is great and it's beautiful. But what it's really about is preaching His word, getting His word out there. And that's what I'm going to do for the next year, is challenge myself to share the good news even more, to not hide my faith, and to be more open about it. And that's been this whole year, the reflection on my life. I just want to say thank you for everyone that was a part of it. Thank you for everyone that let me film them. Thank you for everybody that shared their testimony. And I pray that God blesses you guys, and that this year, 26, be even more fruitful.